Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Wednesday, October 27th, 2021. It is 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I am Mike, and we're going to drink some coffee and talk some stocks. So, here at Trade the Fifth Wave, uh, I do this video every morning. I send it out either in an email to people that have subscribed to the email list, or I put the video straight up on the Discord channel. Uh, and then a little bit later in the day, around noon, 1 o'clock, I tend to release it public. Uh, so if you're interested in any of that, the links are in the description. Uh, we had a pretty good day yesterday. We played actually one of the last stocks we're going to talk about. We played it over and over and over and over again. Text messages. But yesterday was a real good day for running stocks, and I expect today to be the same thing. So let's jump right into some stock picks. So the first thing we're going to talk about is DWAC or DWACW, which is the warrant stock. They pretty much look exactly the same. Uh, these things have pulled back, and they're just hovering, building pressure. And when they do finally pop, man, it's going to be. I really expect these to be runners. Uh, there is so much talk about these stocks that you almost you just can't ignore that they're eventually going to pop. Right now, they're being shorted very heavily, which is what's keeping the cost down. Uh, and I'm afraid that's going to actually people started shorting it way up here or DWAC because of a blind hate for Donald Trump, which is going to be a part of this. But you're just hurting yourself if you're letting your political feelings get into what the man does financially. So uh, when it does finally pop, man, it's going to be brutal on the short players. It just is. In the near term, I mean, I don't know that I would buy into this right now. It may go a little bit lower yet, but this is going to be, when it does pop, it's going to be another day like this. It's going to be in 2 or 3. Uh, I mean, over the course of 15, 20, 30 minutes, it's not going to, this long pullback. It's like a pullback on a bow. When it releases, it's going to pop. So just be aware. Next up, we're going to talk about is BKKT. So this popped up on the scanner yesterday as we were getting ready to get off. It's a relatively new stock because right there's the moving average starting. It popped up to $60 and pulled back on, and it is in a downtrend in the shorter time frames. The only reason this thing's on the list is when it does take off, it made huge jump. Uh, so there isn't a setup. There's no Elliott wave drawing out. I mean, your triangle guys, I'm sure, are drawing triangles, and your flag guys are drawing flags, and the ball guys are playing with balls and all that. But there's no real setup on here. It is down at the 50-day variable moving average on the 30-time minute, which is usually a great rebound point. It's under it on a lot of other time frames. So being that the stock is so new and there's no real historical data on it, uh, I mean, you can't really find support and resistance lines. You can find a few, but nothing of any substance. So what I'm saying with that is Not that this is a playable stock. This is a watching stock. 99% of playing stocks is watching them and waiting for a breakout and getting on at day trading and getting on and riding them. Now, if you're swing trading and or if you're doing long-term investment, long-term holds, it's a different strategy. But when you're day trading, you watch as many stocks as you can and you wait for something to start running. I use a couple different scanners and I have so many screens set up so I can just sit and watch stocks. It's not even funny. Uh, and wait for those breakout moments. That's how I find what I find. Uh, anyway, so this is not it's not a setup. It's not anything other than, we ran in one day. We ran from $9 to $60. 600% increase. Uh, five. So yeah, we're gonna keep watching it because if it pops, it makes pretty big strides. All right, next thing we're gonna talk about is MARK. So this stock popped Monday pre-market, fell back here, and it's just waiting to run. There's a whole bunch of people sitting waiting for it. It's sitting right now at under $2 with a 11.5 time or price target. So huge amount of money in there. I mean, this is from from here to here, guys. Is 475%. So yeah, a lot of money to be made in there. So we're just waiting for it to pop. What I'd like to see it do is get above the 50s and gain some ground. And I'll probably give away a little bit of that 475% just to ensure that it is on a true up climb. Be careful of a little false pullback. Uh, what it needs to do is break up above and a little bit of a longer time frame. And you shouldn't be watching. I wouldn't be watching this on a 1 minute. I'd be watching this on a little bit higher time frame and see it break up. It has the same price target all the way out to the 8 hour. So yeah, I mean you're gonna wait. You're gonna need to see it gain some ground before you just jump on this thing. Oh, next thing we're gonna talk about is Grnq. Almost the same story. There's actually several of these, so they're going to be the same story. Monday pre-market fell off, didn't really gain any traction. The SPY being screwed up yesterday kind of really, I think, jacked up a couple of runs, to be honest with you. But yeah, this is kind of the same story as MARK. It big pop first thing Monday morning, pulled back. We're sitting there waiting for it to get some traction. When it does finally decide to run, we're sitting here at $1.22 with a 321.22 target. That is 164% in there. Pretty good place to find some money on the way up through that one, right? Next up is GNUS. This one's getting a bunch of play on YouTube right now. We found it in the scanner yesterday morning. I'd never even heard of it before yesterday morning, but it popped yesterday morning and started to suck back. It picked up a little ground, and I mean, 197 to 275. I don't know that. It's only 40% in where it's at right now. Uh, so, being that there's, I mean, don't get me wrong, 40% is a good play, right? But there's some bigger plays, and you're going to need to give away some of this, be honest with you, before I would get into this. You're going to need to pop above that, the 50 exponential moving average, and need price above it and to stay above it. So you're going to have to give some of it back. So probably looking at being in at around $2 by the time, or more, by the time I would jump in it. So, I mean, there's going to be 30-40% in there. That's not the worst play in the world. There's a few other plays I'll be watching a little bit harder just because there's higher percentage. You got to understand my theory is if I like to take profits in 10% increments. So if you have a stock if you've got two stocks and one has 40 and one has 80% in it, there's more chances for me to take 10% increments in here than there are in here. I mean, it's just math. So as I find my setups for the day, when I have something like whatever it was with 475% in it, those go at the top of my watch screens. And then I work my way down, because when they do finally pop, A, I have longer to see them pop, and B, I have more money in the middle to be made. And if I'm taking it out at 10% runs or 20% runs, and then the bottom falls out of it, I'm not trapped. When you're playing a tight stock where there's only 10 or 20% in there, and you wait to put a trail stop in, you can get trapped. So, a stock that's going to run, or is most likely going to run 400%, will make a 10 or 20 or 30% quick jump, which gives me a place to get my trail stop in behind it. That's not a stop loss. There's a difference between a trail stop and a stop loss. Trail stop, all it does is follows you up. As price climbs, so as this price line climbs, as it gets, ahead of me, I just keep putting stops in here, and I just keep moving this up. So as it climbs, I keep moving my stop up behind it. So when it does finally drop off, I'm taking my profits. It hits it hits that stop and takes my profits. So, not that GNUS is a bad stock at 40% in this window where we're at right here now, but there's some other higher end windows to be watching as far as I'm concerned. Next thing we're going to talk about is PHUN. So we are talking about this one. Huge pullback. Excuse me. This thing is on, all of this is based on one candle. And that one candle, I mean, it was only a 10-minute long. I'm starting to believe this is a pump and dump. I left it on there just because there is this nice window. We are sitting here at $4 and there's a $28 window. So, $4 to $28. That's 600% in there. So the only reason this is still on the watch list is because from here to here is 600%. Now, it's going to have to get some serious ground. And I said this yesterday, and I'll say it again today. For me to get in there, it is going to have to break and get a candle above that 1452 mark. So if you change that to 14.5, we still, it sucks up a lot of it, but it still leaves 93% in there. But for me to do anything with this is going to have to get up here. The way this fell off, if you get in here, it's gambling. If we get a hot pop or rip up above up above that 1452 and get a candle close above it, you still got 93% and there's plenty of money to make. Greed is what costs people money in this game. And there's no reason to be greedy when you got that much in there. Next stock is Brpm. This is kind of the same story as the first few from the day. It popped up, pulled back to the MAs. Now it's sitting there waiting on it to go. It's been a nice, healthy play out. So this is going to be higher up on my watch list because once it finally does go, it's sitting at 11.5 now with 16.75, 16.5 target. There's only 43% in there, but it's playing out very smoothly, so it should have no problem getting that 43%. Oh, next thing, Ccnc. So this thing popped pre-market, fell off. I mean, this is got to tell the story a lot. Popped pre-market, fell off, sitting there waiting. 150 to $3, so it's 100% stock. Means there's 100% in here. So, I mean, it's just wait for it to gain some ground and start running. Oh, EQOS. Remember when I said we're going to tell the same story over and over and over? Here we are again. So this one is sitting at almost $5. And it's got 11.75 target. That is 135% in that one. The good news is I am getting very much better at writing letters and numbers with this drawing thing as longer I do this. RDBX. This is Redbox. So I played this yesterday pre-market. Made a okay chunk of money on it. It just IPO'd, so there's not a whole lot of data on it. And the only reason it's on here, there's not a lot of data on this. There's not a lot of, there's no real Elliott setups on it yet. There's an upside down one in the, it's on a wave 4 pullback in a short term, which means it's going to come down a little bit deeper. The reason it's on here is it made some pretty nice rips on the way up. And even if you, let's say you were about to play, I must have drew on this. Or no, that's an EMA starting. Yeah, it's 50 variable moving average starting to draw. Like I said, it hasn't been, it's an IPO, it just came out. So even if you were playing this, that's 1446 to 1667. 1446. What did I say? 1672 is what it's at. There's already 16% in an hour and a half and 3 candles. And that has been a nice little play. That's why this is on here. It is posting some big ass candles, BAC, big ass candles, on the way up, and some big ass candles on the way down. So there's money to be made in there. There's no setups, so you have to be confident in the rip and when it starts to take off. And you know, it's totally playing momentums. There's no setups to ride, but there is money in there to be made. All right, so this next stock, it had a big rip 2 days ago, and it's pulled back. It is at a wave 3 low, which wave 3 low, don't forget, this is upside down target. wave 4 pullback, wave 5 low, right? I mean, not that's not actually a prediction in price. I'm just saying there will be a wave 4 pullback, and then there will be a wave 5 drop, because that's the way Elliott works. In the shorter time frame, in a 5-minute time frame, we are. I mean, do you want to know where this is going on the 30? Here, let's show you. So you go to. You have to understand how this all plays out. So the 30-minute time frame, we are looking for a wave 4 pullback, right? So once we get our wave 4 pullback, then we can see where our wave 3 target's going to be. So if we go down here to the 5-minute chart and see that we have an upside down Elliott wave, which I know you can't see it, give me time. Oh, it's not drawing it on this. Fine, don't draw it on this screen. Make me look stupid. It's actually drawing it on another screen. So it's expecting a wave 4 pullback to. Oh, there it is. I'm lying. It ain't making me look stupid. It's just higher. Different screen, different resolutions. Make me look stupid. So we are at a wave 4 low on the 5-minute chart. So it is looking like it wants to pull back. Oh, that's quite a ways. So let's do this. I know you can't see this, but I'm trying to save time. Those are perfect, aren't they? Oh no, that's. Sorry, wrong chart. This is the uptrend chart. If this happens to run, it has a target up here. There it is. I'm sorry. It's early and I haven't had much coffee. So this one has a target of $21, $22. Now we are way below the EMAs, and I think that comes down to probably a $20 mark. But anyway, if you go back out here to the 30-minute and you want to know where this stock's going, as far as a wave 4 pullback, it could be up there as high as that $20 mark as far as a wave 4 pullback. So what I'm getting at is this stock has no confluence whatsoever. If it does pull back to the wave 5 high, it breaks this Elliott wave. Because here's our high point at 1989, right? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it does pull back in a nearer time frame to that, it will break this Elliott wave. It will change that to an A. It'll change this to a 1, 2, 3. Because that's how Elliott works. That's why we trade the 5th wave. It's the most consistent. That's why we don't trade the 3rd wave. So all that because this stock is getting a shitload of meme play, and it's the next big thing. Man, this meme stocks are starting to lose any kind of relevance. The apes are starting to lose any kind of relevance because they're showing that they have millennial attention span of 3 minutes. So their whole ape stronghold AMC whatever it was, they have abandoned almost all of that. Now there's a whole bunch of them jumping on some crypto that everybody think is just going to be the next Bitcoin. But do you know how many cryptos I've heard in the last year that are going to be the next Bitcoin? And this one will be worth riding up a little bit, but yeah, it's not going to be the next Bitcoin because the internet attention span is about 10 minutes. But anyway, all that said, Doesn't mean this thing won't pop, doesn't mean it won't rip, and when it did, it had some big ass candles, right? So uh, there's nothing wrong with waiting to see some more big ass candles and jumping on them, being that these are 30-minute time frames. Uh, what you don't want is the stock that does this. Okay? This, there's no money to be made in there. Those are all 30-minute candles, right? So there's no money to be made in there quickly. The biggest candle there that was a pop of 1242 to 1350, so $1, which isn't a horrible little rip, but when you've got these stocks doing these tiny little candle thing, there's no money to be made there. But there's zero confluence in this stock out across the charts. It is upside down, right side up, upside down, right side up. It doesn't know what it's going to do. It's because it's too much volatility. In the near term, or in the longer term, this is going to pull up and then fall back off. Could it pull up to $20? It's possible. I think because it fell back off this deep, it's more likely it's going to pull up to the 15, 17, somewhere in their range and fall back off. But the moral of the story is a lot of people saying a lot of things about this stock. It is extremely uncertain. Could it rip up to $1 billion? Yeah, sure it could. Anything can. And that's this one guy was looking at what he had to say about it, and he's predicting this for the next, DWAC, and everybody's making these DWAC predictions all of a sudden. I'm not. It's not. 600% stocks do not happen every day, or 800 or whatever, 1,000%. What was that? We got in at $13, and it went to 175. Yeah, 1,246% is what it went up from where we got in. But we got in at the beginning of it, and I got in a very certain way. And anyway, now I'm rambling. Let's move on. So this one is going to be high up on the watch list today. PROG. It's actually was starting to run a little bit and pull back. There's decent money in this to be made. We're sitting at 4 right now, and we're going to 7. So 4 to 7. There's still 75% in there, right? So from here to here, we got 75%. That's a nice little play, and it's got some big ass candles. So that's what we like to see. Wave 4 low, waiting for it to gain ground, start ripping. I mean, this is not brain science or rocket surgery, kids. Oh, next one we are going to see is MYSZ. We played this a couple of times yesterday. We played this in the next one or two a few times. We played this all the way up. It's pulled back. Same story. Sitting down here at this 137 mark. 137 with a 330 target. Gives us 141% in the middle. Let's say 141. 141. It made some nice little rips yesterday. Ding, 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 ding. And yeah, we played this 2 or 3 times. Or was it nah, it might have been another stock. I think it was the other one. We played this at least twice. Good runs. Nice little stock. Next stock, BIMI. It ran out yesterday and made a wave 5 high. Now we're at a wave 1 low, right? But I want to show you if we go out here to the 1 hour time frame, if it draws on this computer, and it did, we are at a wave 4 low. which means nice little wave 5 pot. So 124 to $3. That's over 100%. 124 to 298. 140% left in there. That's 140%, and it is nice big ass candles. Oops, sorry. So in the 30-minute time frame, what we're going to have is if this does rip up and break that wave 5, this will become an A, and that will become 1. Then we'll see 2, 3, 4, 5, and the upway. So I think this stock is setting to run over the next couple of days, and it will probably be on the watch list next couple of days. Alright, last stock on the list is IINN. This one we played. Oh God. Let's go back and look. Just entered EQOS. Entered MYSZ. Waiting on LIDR. I actually didn't look at that one today. Let's talk about. I played this stock several times. Look, well, I mean, just played it all up all day. It's pulled back. It is what's called. It's thinking it in a wave 1 low, but actually, if we look at it on the 1-hour chart, it is on a wave 4 pullback on the 1-hour and on the 4-hour and on the 8-hour. So this is not done yet. But we go back to the 30-minute chart. Forgot to look at that. We're going to look at LIDR here shortly. So this is the same thing on a watch list when it takes off, and it looks like it might be thinking about it. Histogram is closing, getting ready for Golden Cross. So yeah, this thing's getting ready to go again. And I will be playing it again. I don't even know if LIDR is going to be worth playing. I missed it in my... Yeah, there you go. Same thing. We will add that to the list. Forgot about that in the morning. It popped, ran down. So we were at 515, over $10 in it, so there's damn near 100% in that one too. Glad I started reading back through the lists, because I forgot about that one. So, sorry, I keep hitting the wrong button every time I take the drawing tool off. That is it for the what's on the watch list in general, but now let's look at some scanner hits. So this is odd. Scanner hits 33, 36. This is actually odd. Second day in a row, there is no scanner hits at 5:41 in the morning from the New York Stock Exchange or on NASDAQ. So first one, let's see. Well, that's a nice little rip. It's only a 3-day-old, 4-day-old stock, 3-day-old stock. 4. 3. Three days. I mean, BBLN has made some decent candles. 1395 to 1542. I mean, I'll keep an eye on it, but once the watch list gets too big, you know, it just gets out of hand. It's on the watch list. These BENEs already on there, BIMI is already on there, CNC, CCNC is in there, CLEU. What do we got going on here? Yeah, if you want to wait 11 billion years for $1. No, thank you. Let's look CRTD. I feel like we played that yesterday. No, maybe it was the end of last week. It's got a bunch of volume. It's pretty low float. We are going to talk about CRTD. There you go. On a 30-minute, there's no structure here, but this thing has got a good chunk of volume. Already pre-market, it's at 69,000 volume. And there's only 13 million floats, so it's pretty low float stock. So it had this big rip, pulled back, big rip, didn't do anything. This could do a big rip. It's definitely worth putting CRTD on the watch list. So yeah, it'd be nice to see it rip during actual hours, but let's move on. GHSI. So that is going to be pretty much too. I hate the fact that my. Yeah, so 182 to 233. Yeah. $182 to 233. And there's 28% left in that one. That's. I mean, it's a beautiful 1, 2, 3 Elliott wave. Or 3, 4, 5, I should say. Playing out pretty nicely. Let's look at. I mean, it's not even very choppy on the 5-minute. But that'll be over by the time anybody watches this video. So, we didn't actually talk about it. IINN's already on there. JAGX. Nothing spectacular. MOHO. Yeah. It's drawn out a wave 5 on the 5-minute, but it's an overall downtrend, not worth looking at. MYSZ on the RETO. What do we got here? There's a quick. There is a real quick 3, 4. I may be getting into this right now before we. 110 to 143. Yeah. I mean, there's 30% in there. That's not horrid. That's not bad at all. It's going to play out quick, though. That won't be over before the market ever opens, I think. But we had a nice 3, 4, and it's going to drop off some more, actually. On the 5-minute, it's downtrend. On the 1-minute, It is gonna 1, 2, 3. It's not 2, 3, 4, 5. It is gonna pull down a little bit more. Definitely worth going on the watch list still. Because you got quick hits 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how long back our 1, 2 started. The SNES. Well, that feels like a pump and dump. There's nothing to support that. SPCB. What do we got here? This is a nice little setup. It's pulled down here to $1.05 with 155 target. It's over 30%. With a $1.55 target. 48%. So we got 48%. And wait a minute. That's not the we got 56% target. On a nice quality little pullback. That's pretty good. That's pretty good play. I might be in that directly. Oh, yeah, we need that to come down and cross. It is crossing on the 5-minute right now to come back up. Need the histogram to build. That'll probably be my first play of the day. Let's see, where were we at? Let's look at STAF. Says same story. So 6 47. %. No, it's still worth talking about 20%. Let's see. Last one on the scanner is SXTC. And it has completely. It literally is back to where it was trading a long time ago. Not worth talking about. So there it is, guys. That's Coffee and Stocks. I am Mike with Trade the Fifth Wave. I really appreciate you guys watching. Discord and the email are in the bottom. You are actually going to see a brandy new thing in the comments because I need to know how to do it. I'm not sure. I'm going to have a Twitter address so you can follow me on Twitter. I'm going to start posting some links up on Twitter. So appreciate you guys watching. Like, share, subscribe. Comment if you want to see anything and let me know.